all right, nothing to see. I can assure you, this is his car, I think.
From the beginning.
Hit it, boys. That's what I'm talking about.
This can go in the video, but we both need a poo as well. So, Michael hasn't done one today because he hasn't had a coffee in the morning. So we're gonna.
I told you I had a confidence.
Big Formula One shop. This is where you can buy Formula One merch. Wow, look at this engine. Renault, Ferrari. We are back in Monaco. It's another gorgeous day. Second time being in Monaco for a cafe ride. And we're just at the foot of the climb for the Monaco Grand Prix. And this corner here, this little roundabout, that bit there where the cars swing right, is known as Formula One Corner. Now, this cafe ride I'm going to be doing with one of the most bling riders in the peloton. You know who it is because you've obviously looked at the title of this cafe ride. It is none other than Bling Michael Matthews, or Michael Bling Matthews, in whatever particular order he prefers. And I think he lives somewhere down here. Here we go. Hello there, you all right? Oh, what a welcome. Hello. What's this little one called?
Gigi.
Gigi. That is, oh, absolutely wonderful. What a welcome. Hello.
Yeah.
Good to see you, mate.
Good to meet you too.
Good. No, thank you very much, mate. Do you want to whisk my shoes off?
Yes, please.
No worries. No worries at all. Well, thank you very much, Katie, for the for this lovely. I believe, apparently, just before we start rolling, Michael's never seen this tray before, or even this little a sugar vessel, I believe. And it's open. Do you want to first time have a look?
Yeah,
What do you think's inside?
I'm guessing sugar, but yeah.
Sugar, yeah.
Or salt.
Oh, so yeah, that's, I'm a bit of sugar actually.
You might need it for the ride today, mate. Bit of extra energy.
Yeah. You've already raced, haven't you?
I have.
I was doing a bit of, obviously a bit of research.
Yeah.
And you have actually raced. How's the legs?
I think it's heading in the right direction. Let's say. Yeah, there was a few issues leading into the race. I can't eat spicy food. I had some spicy pasta, I think, 4 days before the race, and still my stomach was turning in the race, and just no energy, no power.
Oh, so was that an arrabbiata?
It actually was, yes. Exactly.
I know my spicy pastas. Yeah, sorry about that, mate. Oh, bloody hell. We were joking about, shall we ask if you own your place, and you just piped up that you own it. It's amazing. Clearly a labour of love, because I believe you stripped this all out from a bit of a shell.
It's actually a pretty cool story. Like for us, we moved to Monaco, I think third year professional. It was a 97-year-old lady that lived here, and she was Monegasque family, everything. So yeah, obviously a lot of history in the place for her and her family, which was really beautiful to see, but yeah, not the style that we were looking for. And my architect, my wife, not actually employed as an architect, but
happens to be
really good at this style.
Okay.
She saw the vision that it turned into now. So
when you own a place like this, you're essentially a custodian. You've got a responsibility to live in it and look after it, and it's flipping cool. It's lovely. Do you know what? Can you take me on a little bit of a tour? If that's all right. I just like mooching about people's houses. No, it's absolutely fine. So if there's any no-go areas, just rugby tackle the camera guys. It's absolutely fine.
Maybe we can open the closet.
We can open the closet, not to look at the back because I got ironing.
Don't worry.
Yeah. This is a famous Australian artist actually. Her name is Vicky Lee. Kat found her on Instagram actually, and we contacted her, and she made this custom.
It's a commission for you.
Yes.
Yeah.
One-on-one for us. Yeah.
I like the texture of that. It's gorgeous.
Yeah, something's different too. You know, it's not your typical art. So this is our bedroom.
We obviously just a slight look. We don't
Actually,
delve too deep.
This was not even planned, but
It was not planned. That's always.
there's my Sanremo trophies.
3 times on the podium.
Yes.
Oh, mate.
Yes.
Let's not talk too much about last year. No. we will a bit later, but it's such a cool race though, isn't it, mate?
It is such a cool race.
Are you kind of pumped for it? It's not that long, is it?
Yeah, it comes up quite fast. I mean,
Yeah.
it's the very start of the season, so it's off season feels really long, and then once the season starts, it all happens really fast.
Well,
so.
hopefully we can offer you like an early sort of taste of it, just to get yourself really in the zone. Not that you need to, but lovely. Do you mind if I just take one out?
Yeah, of course.
So this is from last year, of course, when Jasper just kind of rolled you on it. Was it, mate? We were there. We didn't know we'd won. We were on the line commentating, and didn't know we'd won. And it's actually a beautiful trophy.
Actually, that's the first time I've looked at it since the race, I reckon. I
Wow.
actually haven't even watched the finish, to be honest.
Really?
No.
I
can't.
I do understand,
watch it.
mate. I do understand. Well, you know, it's done, isn't it? And you can't change anything. It is that result. You just got to, I guess, look forward.
Yeah.
And maybe in a few years' time, look back. But right now, it's just forward, isn't it? But it's still a thing of beauty, mate.
It is very
You
beautiful.
think,
trophy.
like, how many riders would trade 3 podiums in Milan Sanremo? I mean, yeah, you've achieved so much, mate. But I'm going to dig the other ones out if you don't mind. Third, 2020. No, it's about, yeah. Well, I'm going to say I don't have any trophies in my house. I haven't got any trophies. I've got one in the garage. I've got two. A few in the loft from a long time ago. But yeah, nothing on a par with this. Lovely trophies, but let's look forward, eh?
This is all that my wife will allow me to have in the house.
Let's go. I'm now taking my hoodie off, and we're now inside a walk-in wardrobe. Right.
Here we go. So this is my
Sneakersville.
This is my daily shoes, I would say.
So basically, let's be honest, you collect Nikes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a big Travis Scott off-white Nike. I would say like they're more, maybe these are like my dailies, let's say, and you can see that they've been worn because they've sort of got a bit of a hole in
But
the
still,
back.
you could put them in an auction if
Yeah,
you need to liquidate this stock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
These are probably more like certain style
Okay.
that you would wear with, I guess, certain clothes. This is a new set of the new Travis Scotts.
That is from my
Michael Matthews Panini stickers.
Wow.
Did you not know they were there?
No.
Yeah, Kaya put it there.
Oh,
Collectible.
this is my daughter.
Number 269.
She collected these from last year's Tour de France.
Good hair as well, that one, mate.
Oh yeah.
Did you do like did you just a hand through and just backcomb it? Was that planned?
I think that was this time last year, actually. I think I was meant to go and get a haircut just before, and I ran out of time. So, and I look like I just got electrocuted by.
I like that. Do you know what I like the most is you got you, and then there's a really ridiculously unnecessary punch in of your face, just there. Just for it's like you've gone on your phone and just done that.
Maybe because you can't see the hair as much.
That's great. Oh, that's so cool, mate. And then you got your bike.
Yeah.
Would you mind showing me one of your cars? It's a bit of a weird question.
Yeah.
I'm not really a petrol head, but I know you're a bit of a car fan, and obviously the Grand Prix just goes around the corner, doesn't it?
You want to see the dailies or the more exotic?
I think you want to see something a little bit exotic, if you don't mind, if that's okay.
Okay, yeah.
Should we pop our kit on then?
Yeah.
Because you're going to drive us to the Cipressa, if that's okay,
Yeah.
in a sports car. But if we go in Lycra, that's going to look quite normal, isn't it? So let's get some Lycra.
Yeah,
on.
that would be normal. Yeah,
Okay.
just driving around town in the kit.
Yes, do it.
What I do on a daily basis.
Yeah. If you want to win Milan Sanremo, or in this case Monaco Sanremo, you're going to need the right tools. That's why I'm riding this top-spec Argon 18 Sun Pro Red Axis road bike. It's lightweight for bazzing up the Poggio, and it's aerodynamic for sprinting up the Via Roma. My Cask Elemento helmet is keeping my noggin safe, while these 100% sunglasses are made out of 100% sunglasses. It's early springtime, so I'm layering in style with this Universal Colours mono and chroma range of winter kit. This insulated gilet absorbs heat on the climbs and releases it when my body cools down, flattening off temperature spikes so I stay warm but look cool, just like this guy. And you can get it all at sigmasports.com.
So yeah, you like cars?
Yeah, I kind of... Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, it's not a bad garage.
So which one are you going to take me to the Cipressa in?
It's up to you, mate. You want to go the more comfortable, or you want to go the more extreme?
I wouldn't mind just going extreme.
Yeah.
Is that all right?
All right.
Do you want to help you take the cover off?
Yes, please.
Okay, let's do that. Let's go.
Let's do it.
Let's go to Italy.
You got on the wrong side, though, mate.
Okay. It's all right, nothing to see. I can assure you, this is his car, I think.
Honestly, I have no idea what's going on.
Well, we're going to be driving this, we think. Michael's just making sure that it is indeed drivable. And also, I'm going to do some checks to make sure that it is actually his. I'm not convinced. I mean, he's a lovely lad, but I think he might be taking us for a ride, metaphorically. No, it's not his car. It's not his car. I'm off. I'll just check. The car is actually his, thank goodness. I made a call to the place. All good there. Right, we're off to Italy via the Monaco Formula One circuit. Hit it, Michael. Oh, hit it sort of steadily. We were on pole position. We started just punching up the first climb, or the only climb, not quite Formula One speeds, for obvious reasons. We don't want to end up in the Monaco slammer. Thanks for the drive. That was great. We're here at the Cipressa, the foot of the Cipressa, about 100 yards away. And this is super iconic, isn't it? Maybe not quite as iconic as the Poggio, but a key part of the race.
Definitely. This is where the race really kicks off. So, I mean, this part here is really key with positioning, because then you kick straight into the climb. So let's get onto it.
Let's do it.
And straight away she kicks.
Stevens is already out the saddle. It's funny, isn't it? Riding, and we were just talking about it before we rolled the camera, like, cycling is such a unique sport, mate, isn't it? And you were talking about footballers, like, inaccessible, see them in the stadium, but then they're whisked away. But cycling is so democratic, mate, isn't it? We are riding on the Milan Sanremo roads. We just saw some of your Devo teammates rolling by. There's nothing quite like it, is there?
It's actually quite amazing. I mean, when we go to Spain, there's the key climbs that we were all testing on in December, January. It's quite cool that you can see the best riders in the world just doing the normal training runs and getting ready for the season. There's no other sport where you really have that same access, you know?
I'm going to have to just throttle back so I can breathe.
You're halfway on me, mate.
Sorry, bud. It's just, we're going all right. We're floating up this climb quite nicely.
Yeah.
The way the race has evolved over the last few years with different winners, multiple different winners actually.
Yeah.
You've had 3 podiums.
Yeah.
What's your take on, in the modern era of Milan Sanremo, a move going on this climb?
On this climb?
Do you think would that be something you'd factor in the team meeting, like covering or creating, or how are you, do you think it's gone now, it's all about the Poggio, or do you think there are options to be creative in this race on this climb?
I'm surprised it hasn't happened before, to be honest, because I think for a lot of, let's say, like more pure sprinters,
Yep.
the more changing of the pace would be the problem for them.
Yeah.
And I think they're the guys that the climbers want to get rid of.
Yeah.
So I would say, I think it's definitely a chance.
Hey.
A chance in the near future that moves will start going here, because also see the evolution of cycling.
Yeah.
There's moves going way earlier than
Yeah.
in the past. So I think we shouldn't be surprised by an attack on the Cipressa already this year.
And let's be honest, one of your best mates in the sport and outside the sport is Tadej. And he is one of the riders that you could see doing that, almost semi-expecting him to do it this year. It's going to be hard, but his tactics or potential tactics, or the threat of that tactic, must inform the way other teams are going to react and what resource they're going to leave or have back early for this climb. It's really fascinating, isn't it? It's not things that have actually happened, but just there's the potential that it could.
Yeah, I think that creates a lot of stress, probably even more than before going into this climb. Because if a guy like that does launch a move
on this climb, it's going to be so important to be in a position, one, to try and follow, but two, to have enough teammates around to be able to close it or to jump with it or try and execute something where if you're more down the back and a guy like Tadej does launch in this climb, you're basically just preying on luck that another team has it under control, or he doesn't get enough gap and guys start jumping across or whatever, different situations where you don't want to be on the back foot riding through here and hoping for the best, because a lot of guys are on their last legs up here, dropping the wheel, so it can leave it open for a harder chase. So
The last time we spoke at length was when we had you on my podcast, Matt Stevens Unplugged, and I was listening back to it the other day just to refresh. It was a great chat, mate, really enjoyed it, and it's 4 years ago now.
Wow.
And just the sport since 2021, the sport has, whatever you want, it's moved on, evolved and changed so much. And like you just talked about, this new dynamic, this unpredictable element, guys going longer, you seem to have adapted to that. And you're heading into your mid-30s now, vastly experienced, but have seen that change from start to finish.
Yeah.
And you've been able to compare it to the previous days of coming up to the 2020s. Have you enjoyed that change, or have you struggled with it? But how do you kind of feel about it?
Well, honestly, it's the way I used to race when I was under 23.
So kind of chaotic.
I love that style of racing, and so my first few sort of 5 years of becoming a World Tour rider, I had to adapt to the World Tour style of racing, which I never liked.
Yeah.
I never liked waiting all day and sprinting. I liked aggressive racing, but I think for so many years of my career now, I've sort of settled into that sort of style of racing. So, like you said, I've had to adapt to the new style of racing, which I think hopefully I can adapt faster and be more aggressive myself, because that's the racing I like to do. But I think when it comes to the real crucial parts of the race, I'm so stuck in this way of riding where it's a bit more sort of held back and a bit more conservative.
There's a bit more of a formula, isn't there? Yeah.
And I guess a lot of times I've won a lot of my races in small bunch sprints. So when it comes down to that situation where that could happen, I'm sort of more gambling on that happening. But I really want to go back to my old roots, which was more attacking racing and going earlier in the finishes, not waiting all the time for the sprint, because for me it is boring. It is boring to race like this, and I feel like I have a lot more cards in my pocket that I can try some different styles of racing.
Sure.
So hopefully this year I can race more aggressively instead of just always waiting for the sprint.
It's free wheeler. I thought I was going hard. On to the Poggio.
Drop me.
Oh, God. Well, tell you what, that's a feather in my cap. It was a mistake. But briefly, he just couldn't hold my wheel. And I'll be honest with you, this can go in the video, but we both need a poo as well. So, Michael hasn't done one today because he hasn't had a coffee in the morning. So we're going
I told you that out of confidence.
In all seriousness, mate, before we approached the climb and we did a bit of a reset, you said you were like already feeling anxious. Just explain that and just try and express how stressful it is on the approach to this climb.
Yeah, I guess it's hard to really, when I watch it back on the TV, I know we were speaking about it, the build up from the Capoberta to the Cipressa to the Poggio. It's, in the peloton, it's a completely different feeling. I mean, you know how crucial that corner is into the bottom of the climb. that even just sitting down there now, when we were sitting down there talking, my heart rate actually went up. Just, like I said, I've done this race so many times, and just that feeling of coming to that climb, you almost feel like you want to vomit. Like it's like that tension in your body that is just like, it just like scares you. Like,
Right.
you have this, this thing going through you. It's just adrenaline. It's hard to really describe. It's like that key moment in your life where you sort of think about it for a long time, you dream about it, going to bed every night, and then you get there and you're like, oh, I'm here. I'm in the moment. I've made it to this point. And then it really starts on the Poggio.
And also as well, one of the funny things about cycling, because of its very nature, aside from a TT, which, by the way, drilling through your results, you can do a good TT. That's an interesting, have a look at this lad's results in TTs, exceptional, but you get that nerves. But in a race like this, you've already started 5.5, 6 hours earlier, but yet there's a separate set of nerves that build up, although the race has already started.
Yeah.
And there's not a lot of sports like that.
Not a lot of races like that, to be honest. I mean, sports is one thing, but like for us in the season, there's only one race in the whole year that is this race. There's so many other races that you do that have very similar characteristics to each other, where there's only one race where it comes down to one climb, basically.
Yeah.
Where it's really going to make the difference. So, and I guess, like you said, after 5.5, 6 hours waiting all day for that one key moment, and I mean, I have had bad experiences in this race. I crashed going into the Cipressa. I can't remember what year it was. There was a run into Cipressa and there was a big crash on the right side, and I was stuck in it, and it totally ended my race.
Right.
And there was another year where it snowed in the race.
Oh yeah.
And my legs totally froze at the bottom of Cipressa.
Yeah.
And I got dropped straight away. So
Sure.
it hasn't all been smooth sailing. So there is still that feeling in the back of the mind that maybe that might happen again.
Yeah.
Because in the end, like we said, I've got 3 podiums, but it hasn't all come easy, let's say.
Yeah.
It's been a roller coaster of emotions with this race in general. So then we come into the glass house, which is the famous
Well, it's that section that,
launch
I was looking at some stats from a few years ago,
Yeah.
none that's similar, where people attack on the glass house bit, which it's only modest gradient, but for this race, it's the steepest part of the Poggio.
Yeah.
And from that point, generally the average power you need to sustain to stay in the front is about 800 watts per minute or something.
Yeah.
That's what we're talking. I mean, that was in the Kwiatkowski Sagan era.
Yeah.
So God knows what numbers you're doing now just to stay in the wheels or be in that front group, or to at least follow the attacks on that section.
Yeah, I think through here it's quite quick, and this is always the positioning section. And still it's quite narrow when you think about it.
Yeah.
To actually hold your position and to get into position. So also you know what's coming up. So it's going to be a fine line between how much you use energy to move up, because you know when we get to this glass house here, it's all going to go down. So
only modest, but when you're already probably doing 45k an hour, and you've got 6 hours in the legs plus, this hurts, and this is it now. And this is generally where the winning move, if it stays clear, starts.
Yeah, so the guy in the front normally takes the inside there and straight lines it to this inside of the next one, and then the key rider of the team normally launches somewhere about here on the steep part.
Now, there's a few little murals. Have you seen these? You noticed them?
That was
There's a little one of Tadej, little one of Ganna, little one of Cipollini, Pantani. Now,
there you go.
just up here, we just need to pull into this little bit here, mate, because
take a breather.
I've heard take a breather. But also, I believe somebody's done one of me.
Really?
Not with the next one, actually. Yeah. Right. It's actually there. What do you reckon? Wonder what your thoughts were on the semblances. Same gilet, similar bike. But it's wonderful. Well, I've never ridden this race. Some of the fans have come out in the middle of the night, mate, and actually I'm welling up a little bit.
I think the only thing you can do now is sign it.
Have you got a bit? Should we get that chalk?
Then it's official.
Get the chalk and I'll sign it, yeah.
What do you mean that chalk?
Well, we always keep chalk in the car for like finish lines and stuff like that.
Okay, yeah. Feel ya.
But he blew me cover.
Yeah, when you said that chalk and it's like chalk, I'm like,
He's to tell you what, he could do detective, he could do like pyro and all that. It's an important climb. This is only chalk, ladies and gents, but I'm gonna sign it. Yeah.
there you go. Now it's official. There you go.
Matt Stevens. Look at where we've come from. Look at where we've arrived. We're nearly at the top. I think we just fade to black now. No? Okay. Right.
I was just enjoying the moment. Yep. Oh, there we go. Yeah. You know what's funny? In the off season, I miss the pain in my legs. Like when I feel fresh, I'm like, something's wrong. Something's not right. Because you just have pain in your legs for so much of the year. And then for that 1 month, you don't have any pain. You're like, oh, I miss it.
There's something about suffering when you're kind of dishing it out a little bit as well. You know, making other people suffer.
Or when you get home and you sit on the couch and you're like, oh, I'm done. But you're in so much pain, but you know you've got the training done and you're satisfied with the day, and then you can just totally chill.
Yeah.
You're satisfied.
I call it the warm afterglow of a training ride. It's all the endorphins. It's like a drug. It really is. It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah. Especially with weather like this.
I know. Right then.
We're getting like deep and meaningful over here.
We will. It's properly philosophical. Yeah.
Ciao! Doesn't get much more Italian than this.
Looking back through what you've achieved over the years, mate, looking back to the Giro where you've worn the jersey, talked about the team time trial where we started at Cipressa. This is 2014. Ireland is where it started in 2014, but we had a team time trial that started at the bottom of the Cipressa to Sanremo, where you won the opening team time trial.
Must be 15, no?
That was 15. But in 14, in Ireland, in Northern Ireland, you pulled on the pink jersey, didn't you?
Was it me? No, Swain Tuft.
But later on,
The day later.
Yeah. And you finished 8th on the stage, won by Marcel Kittel, and you didn't know if you got the jersey or not.
Yeah.
And guess who was the person that told you that you actually got it?
I'm guessing it was you.
It was me.
No
I've
way.
got a photo at the moment, mate. So basically, you're doing an interview unofficially.
Oh.
Okay, this is on my phone.
Yeah.
Go on my iPhone. You're doing an unofficial chat, and then somebody runs up to me and says, "He's in the jersey. He's in the jersey." And you're like, "What? Am I in the jersey?" I'm like, "Yeah, you're in the jersey." Because normally when you're in the you can't do interviews, can you? You get taken off to protocol, and that was the last picture that I took before you got swept off, mate.
Look how young I look.
Look at you're still fresh-faced
Exactly
now,
the same.
Exactly the same. But there you go, Michael Matthews moments before you're on the podium.
Wow, that's so cool. Didn't we? I remember we were riding up towards some big castle thing.
Yes.
On the promenade there. It was beautiful, beautiful course. And I think actually, yeah, one of our elder riders. It was his birthday that day, and he was always pulling for us on the front, and probably one of our strongest guys in the Triple T also. And we decided before the race that if we would win, he would be the first one to cross the finish line out of our team. And we were able to win, and he was able to put on the pink jersey. I think that moment for him in his career was very special.
What was that like for you, being in a leader's jersey and ultimately taking a stage as well? You know?
Yeah, I think I won a stage or two a couple of days later.
Yeah.
So yeah, winning in the pink jersey was, well, firstly wearing the pink jersey was amazing. Our bike sponsor at the time made us pink bikes, which I still have now. And along the top tube, they had every start-finish town on the top tube of the bike. So that was quite special. And then, to win in the pink jersey definitely put the icing on top of the cake for sure. I mean, just to ride the Tour of Italy thinking of that when I was still junior, to then winning in the pink jersey, it doesn't happen that much in cycling. So I think these days, maybe with Tadej the last year, maybe tore up the script a little bit, but normally it doesn't happen that often, so it was pretty special.
So Italy is clearly a special place for you. I know that you're out riding yesterday with Tadej and with Tim Wellens, and you actually went over into Italy, didn't you? So you must really love it here. It is a cool place, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, also for me and my wife, we got married just outside of Florence.
Oh, right.
So yeah, Italy for us has a very special place in our heart, and I think eventually in our life we will move to Italy. Like we were saying on the ride, the culture, the people, the history of the place. There's so much passion in it, and I think we love that, and just the way they go about it. I think it's it's like no other place for us.
Thinking back to our chat 4 or 5 years ago now, and the journey that you've taken, mate. How often do you speak to Des?
Proctor.
Yeah.
Probably not as much as I would like. I mean, when I'm in Australia, or a lot of times on Facebook. But yeah, when I'm in Australia, I always make time to go and see him, because yeah, I wouldn't be here in this moment now without the help that he gave me. To probably shorten the story that people don't know.
We should add a little bit of context. So just
yeah.
me saying Des, it's actually my dad's name as well. So people might think you're referring to Matt's dad. That's weird. Although he's a lovely bloke.
I'm sure
yeah,
he is.
Yeah, he is. He's a great guy.
I'm sure he's had a big influence on someone else's life too, but probably yours especially. But now for mine, Des Proctor was a sports teacher at my school, and I was a bit of a bad kid, let's say, but I was really good at sports, and he saw that every time I went to my sports class, I was the best at everything we basically did, and he noticed that I was heading maybe in the wrong direction with some wrong kids, and he took me to this Talent ID program with the Australian Institute of Sport that they were doing for talented kids in schools.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'd done a lot of testing on, just in one day, a lot of testing on running, jumping, everything, and yeah, they came up with some testing. I'd be really good at either rowing or cycling, and yeah, I chose cycling to sort of give it a go. I was doing motocross at the time, so sort of went hand in hand a little bit. So yeah, that's where my journey started, and I think without him, I definitely wouldn't be here today, because I wouldn't have found cycling. I didn't know what it was until they told me about it. So.
And before we actually start rolling the cameras, and I hope you don't mind me asking again, because what you said was really pertinent, and I've never really heard anybody so eloquently talk about it, and it's that you and your wife, your family, try and stay out of the limelight a little bit quieter on social media, and there's a dual purpose there. Can you just explain your your thinking and the way that you're trying to preserve your privacy, but also trying to prolong your career and how you go about it, because it's quite opposite to what a lot of pros do.
Yeah, I think at the start of my career, obviously being world champion, going into the pro peloton, world under 23, going into the pro peloton, I mean, I think there was a lot of hype around me, let's say, and I'm luckily that I met my wife at a very young age, which kept me on the straight and narrow, and sort of made me understand that if you want to have a long career, if you want to be a top professional for a long time, you need to conserve your energy outside of the sport. I think one guy that I really looked up to was Kobe Bryant. His work ethic was undeniably the highest I've ever experienced watching his documentaries, and obviously reading a lot of different biographies about different athletes over the years, and I actually have the privilege to meet Kobe once.
All right.
I haven't told many people this story, but in the Tour of California, when I was, I think, second or third year professional, we just finished the Tour of California, and I was going to my hotel room next to the Staples Center, and the Lakers were playing that night or the night before, can't remember. And he was coming out of the elevator as I was walking in, and big hero of mine, and I was just finished the race. I had no phone, nothing, just had my hotel room key, and he was walking out, and I was like starstruck. You know? He just walks out, and I sort of just froze for a moment, and I said to him, just the first thing that came to my head was, "Are you who I think you are?" And he looked at me and said, "Son, who do you think I am?" And I was like, "Kobe Bryant?" And he's like, "Yes, sir, I am." And in that moment, it sort of felt like it didn't feel real. And I said, "Can I shake your hand?" I said, I have no phone, no nothing, but can I shake your hand? This would be an honor for me just to shake your hand.
That's lovely.
And he said, of course, I'll shake your hand. So we shook hands. And he's like, saw that I was in my full race kit, and I guess he knew there was a bike race going on. And he said, oh, how did the bike race go today? And I said, oh, no, I didn't win. I was somewhere second or third or something. And he's like, oh, keep trying, mate. You'll get there. If you keep working hard at it, you'll get there. And then he just sort of walked away, and it was sort of like this ghost just like floated away from me. And now I know the feeling that he's passed. And so for me now, it sort of feels like it was him, but there was something around him that didn't feel real, that he was actually there. So so now watching all these biographies and everything about his life, and hearing all these competitors and teammates talk about him in the way he loved his sport and how he got the maximum out of what he was capable of doing, which is sort of what I look up to now.
That's a wonderful story, mate. And it's clearly a very special story. It's definitely affected the way you are, or not affected, but influenced the way you've decided to go about things. And you clearly are. It's working for you. When you look at your results over the last few seasons, okay, everybody has a few ups and downs, but over the last few seasons, you're still winning big bike races, mate. And you're 34. You're heading into the autumn of your career, it's fair to say, and you're up against these ridiculously talented young upstarts, one of whom is one of your best mates, Tadej, but you're still there, mate. I mean, and you've still got that hunger and that passion to win, and you can see it. What do you want to achieve over the next couple of years, if you can?
Yeah, but I'm still chasing those wins that I've been second and third most of my career. So obviously Sanremo, that's why we're here now. That's one that I still dream about going to bed every night. Flanders is a new sort of found passion of mine. My first sort of half of my career, let's say, it wasn't really something I was thinking about. And then sort of the second half of my career, I sort of fell in love with the race, and so I've done it the last few years, which has been really exciting. I think last year's race definitely fueled some fire inside me to go back and try again, and hopefully do better again. But obviously Amstel also. That's where me and my wife had our first date.
Oh right. So, okay. Is that where you met?
Yeah.
Okay. Nice.
So that was that's obviously very special for me and my family. Besides the race, but the race is obviously amazing. But that on a personal level, that is quite high up, significant part of my season, and it's a race my wife always comes to. So it's hopefully try and tick that box. Would be really beautiful, and then the rest of the season we'll see what happens. But I'm just really excited about the start of the season for this year.
We don't know how many more years you're going to ride. That would depend on your love for the sport, I guess, and just the way you're kind of feeling your family. But can you see yourself in the team car in 5 or 6 years' time joining Whitey, or is that not necessarily Whitey, but you've got such deep experience. Would you enjoy passing that on to younger riders and looking at racing from a different point of view? Or like a lot of riders, would it be a hard stop for you, or is it something that you've not necessarily thought about yet?
I think for me, I want to do as many years as I can being a leader, a winner, until I can't anymore.
Okay.
From that point, I would love to share my experience on the bike with riders, to especially probably young Aussies.
Yeah.
If I could share that experience that I have to some young professionals that are coming over to Europe, and not necessarily in the race stuff, but out of the race stuff, I think is more important to how to adapt to the European lifestyle, and not let signing your Pro Tour contract think that you've made it.
Yeah.
Because that's only the starting point. Having someone like me looking over these young guys, but still being in the team with them, like being actually on the bike with them, I would like to do some years still in the peloton, guiding these young guys.
Yeah. Finally, before we descend the Poggio, mate, what's the best bit of advice that you've been given in your life?
You've sprung this question on me.
Yeah.
No, that's a good question. I would have liked a bit more time to
I'll tell you what. Why don't we leave that? Why don't we pause?
Yeah.
And then we'll talk about that on there just after Via Roma, looking out to sea as the sun sets.
Yeah, I reckon that's good because that gives me a bit of time to actually give you a more clear answer that actually has had a significant effect on my career in a positive way. So, yeah, give me a bit of time to think about that one.
Will do. Right. I think I might have one more pan of chocolat, and then I think we should commence the descent of Les Poggio.
I can tell you where every bump is on this road.
Yeah, because of course you can use the whole, at this stage as well, there's still riders, the width of the road is really important tactically as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
You're running out of options, but you've got width.
Yeah.
So it's all about trying to snap the elastic laterally, isn't it?
Yeah, I think you saw, I think it was Cipressa attacked somewhere along here. And it was just, like you say, it's such a big road and a very small group at this point of the race. So.
Well, Cipressa went, and then Tom tried to go across to him, didn't he?
Yeah, he went across to him, yeah.
That's
and
it.
Then I think they did the left and right.
That's it.
And then Pidcock, Tom sort of launched up his wheel with, what was it, like 800 or
It's a long way, wasn't it? Yeah.
It's still quite far.
There's no race that can pack in so much drama in such a short amount of time as well. Like you say, like we said before, 6 minutes generally from the top of that climb to the finish line, mate.
That's wild. I never knew that, but yeah. Now that you say it, it makes sense because it all happens so quick.
It does. So this might be on Strava as the slowest ever Via Roma finish.
I definitely hope we don't get stuck in traffic on the finish line of Via Roma in the race.
That's it. Well, this is bike racing though, mate, isn't it? You know, 364 days of the year, this is what the Via Roma's like, but then one day it changes, doesn't it? It's the same, but it changes. It's kind of nuts, really, isn't it?
I think for us as riders, it's like such a massive race, which on that Sunday, or Saturday, I should say, it's like the whole world stops, but then on the Sunday, the day after, it's back like this again.
Yeah.
It's so crazy for us that you're a part of this thing that to us is world changing.
Yeah.
But to the general public, it's just one day and then it's done.
Michael, thank you very much, mate. It's been a lovely day. I've got to know you a bit more, and you've got to show me a race that I know very well, but just to ride it with you on roads that I know mean so much has been flipping brilliant. What a way to end at sunset. Nice little bit of surf. Absolutely fantastic, mate.
Feels like being in Australia.
It does. It's a slightly Aussie feel to it, Aussie surf kind of feel to it. Yeah. But I've got one more final question to ask you. Blimey. Easy, Tiger. What was the best bit of advice that you've ever been given? You've had time to think about. We've been up the Via Roma at a very slow speed, down the Poggio at a moderate pace. But best bit of advice, mate?
Yeah, I think over my career, I just probably struggled a little bit with believing in myself, and I got told by my wife just to believe in myself. I have the capabilities. I have everything I need to be the best, and I actually got that tattooed on my neck, so I can see that every single day. So I think probably my best advice is just to believe in myself.
If you like extreme content just like this, you know what to do. Like, and also subscribe. I got a flaccid head unit.
You've gone floppy on us.
I know.
That could mean the bloopers reel.
Yeah. Matt's gone floppy. It's put to the chemist. I'm about to go and see if we can film in this little cafe atop the Poggio. We're going to have a chat and see if we can actually do some filming in there. Buonasera. Se possiamo qui domani 1 o'clock se poi un channel YouTube con Michael Matthews un corridore australiano deuxième you know him the camera it's very piccolo two people very small 1 o'clock una mezza 2 ore spend some money okay. Oh, grazie mille. A domani. Okay, ciao. I really do need to brush with my Italian, but a very lovely lady said that we can film here tomorrow. She seemed to understand 30% of what I was saying, but bless her, we're good to film tomorrow. Exciting times.